Welcome to solverfy.
Okay, let's take a look at what structures we have, and we need to identify the molecular formula that corresponds to each of these structures. Take note of where we have double bonds. And then the rule that we'll use that'll help us get through this is that carbon always has 4 bonds, so long as it's neutral. Oxygen always has 2 bonds, right? So if, for example, we look at this carbon, we see it has 1, 2, 3 bonds. That means there's 1 bond to hydrogen that hasn't been shown. So we can go around and add hydrogens to each of these carbons that have 1, 2, 3 bonds. And all of the carbons on this portion of the ring have exactly 3 bonds, and so there must be hydrogens here. Now, instead, if we reach, say, a carbon that has 1, 2, 3, 4 bonds already, there can't be a hydrogen there because it already has 4 bonds. So we don't need to add any at those locations. If we look at this carbon, though, it's only got 1, 2 bonds, so there must be 2 additional hydrogens there. And then at that point, once we've drawn all these so-called implicit hydrogens, we can just start counting things up. Notice, too, that each of these oxygens has exactly 1, 2 bonds, which is how many it wants. Okay, so carbons. Everywhere lines meet and there isn't another atom, we assume that that's a carbon. So here, 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 and here, right? That's 7 carbons, C7. Then we do hydrogens next. Carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. We count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hydrogens. And then 2 oxygens at the end. That's the molecular formula. Okay, let's do the next one. I'll do it in black. Okay. We have a 5-membered ring, a double bond here and a double bond here. Again, we'll follow the same rule we did before. Everywhere we see a carbon with 3 bonds, we'll add a hydrogen. And if we see a carbon that only has 2 bonds, such as here, then we know we need to add 2 hydrogens. So we said before, it's a 5-membered ring. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. C5. How many hydrogens do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. And now for the last one. 5-membered ring, double bond right here, then an OH. Okay. Everywhere we see carbon with 3 bonds, we'll add a hydrogen. That's here and here. Everywhere we see a carbon with only 2 bonds, here and here, we'll add 2 hydrogens. So a little more clear. That's a hydrogen. That's a hydrogen. That's a hydrogen. Count things up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 carbons. C5. How many H's? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Don't forget the one on the OH, makes 7. And then oxygen, there's exactly